Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hustlers, makers, and content creators, welcome to the only live stream, the late live stream on planet Earth dedicated to mobile content creators and mobile YouTubers. That would be you. My name is Dee, and today I'm answering your mobile creator questions and mobile YouTuber questions. If you do have a question, head down to the description right now. I've got a link that says ask your question. Drop your question in the form to guarantee that I actually see your question. Before you get started, you're going to say, hey, check out my channel, give me a channel review. Not doing channel reviews today, but if you have a question, happy to answer it. How's everybody doing? I know it is a late night stream. You know how I roll. I'm in Mexico. Things have not been so consistent here, doing the best I can with what I've got. My internet was very sporadic today. So how's everybody doing? I see the slot freaks in the house. How you doing, Jason, James, Doug, Houston? It's even late down under. Beanie Draws. How you doing, Beanie Draws? Who else is in here? I saw a Savvy Turtle. How you doing? I think I saw the Fat Man in here too. How's everybody doing on this late Sunday? Unless you're in Asia or in Australia, then it's Monday. How's everybody doing? I'm curious, what time is it where you are? Chime in, let me know where you are. Let me know in the chat where you are, and let me know what time it is wherever you are. I know I'm keeping some of you guys awake. Wow, 2 a.m. from Mac Zero Shack. Wow. So it's 11:42 p.m. here, coming up on midnight. Usually I don't go this late, but hey, I wanted to go live. I didn't want to skip Sunday's live stream. Midnight Madness, I know it's like 1 a.m. there, 2 a.m. wherever you're at, man. This whole thing, midnight, Charlie, listen, I just wanted to keep you awake. This whole stream, Charlie, was just so that you stayed awake. Mission accomplished. Jason James. Beanie's nearly 5. Okay, 142. All right, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. So listen, this is going to be a short one, and I know Doug just rolled his eyes right now. This is going to be a short stream. I'm going to jump straight into the questions. We're going to power through these today. There's only a couple questions in there right now. When the questions are finished, I'm going to wrap it up and call it a night because it's late here as well. Okay, first question is coming in. Oh, by the way, before we get started, I want to say, because I almost forgot this one, today's stream is brought to you by TubeBuddy, #1 browser plugin and growth app for YouTubers. Per usual, I know you have it, but in case you don't, let me put that on the screen. There's a link down below to TubeBuddy. You can download that. I see there's a lot of great stuff down in the description. I've got links to TubeBuddy. I have links to Video Leap, a video editing app for iOS users without a watermark. You got to close the ad there when it pops up. I've got links to Place It. They give you a 15% discount. I've got links to StreamYard. That's the system that I'm streaming with right now. All kinds of goodness down in the description. So get on there and have a look. All right, first question from the Slot Freaks, who says, if I make something on Place, that's funny, almost like this was planned, but it was not planned. If I make something on Place It, can I download it and send it through email? For example, I make it on PC, but I want to include it in my editing app on my phone, in this case, Samsung S10. Yeah, so here's the cool thing about Place It. And by the way, if you guys have not seen Place It yet, I have a video that I released maybe 2 months ago explaining how you can make an intro for your phone, or an intro for your channel, not for your phone, an intro for your channel, and I used Place It. Fantastic system. So here's how it works. When you create something on Place It and you hit download, 2 things are going to happen. One, it's going to process the file, whatever that file is for you to download. That can take 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Sometimes that can take a minute, but it's also going to send you an email with the download link. So if you have your email set up on your phone, on your Galaxy S10, you can just wait for the email to arrive, and it's going to say download here. You can click on it and it will download it right to your phone. So they're going to send you an email. So yeah, absolutely, that's going to work. Scully's House of Thrillers, how's it going, my man? Nice to see you in here. See Adam Hassam in here. Salam alaikum. Alaikum salam. Hope you were doing well, brother. Moving on to the next question. Slug Missile, who says, I'm a Fortnite mobile content creator. I love it. Says, I make videos mostly for mobile players. I'm uploading videos every week. Should I upload more than 1 video per week? If your answer is yes, then how many videos? Okay, here's a great thing about upload frequency. There's no right or wrong answer. Upload as much as you think you need to upload. If all you can upload is once a week, upload once per week. If you can upload twice a week or 3 times a week, upload as much as you can upload quality content. Keep in mind, the more you're uploading, and by the way, I'm not talking about just brute force uploading for the sake of uploading. I'm talking about uploading quality content. the more you're focused on uploading quality content. Like, hey, I'm gonna put in the work. I'm gonna do some great editing. I'm going to put some graphics on here. I'm gonna make sure that whatever I say is gonna be on point. I'm gonna communicate well. When you're putting that stuff together, the more you do it, the better you're going to get, right? If you're just doing it once a week or once every other week, your progress is gonna be slower than somebody who's uploading two or three times a week. So upload at your own pace, but just make sure you're uploading quality content. That's the key, always quality. Some people might disagree with that, but I'm always going to push for quality. But again, you got to pay attention to your thumbnails. Your topics have to be on point. You got to be doing all the stuff. Best practices need to be in order. All right, guys, and for those of you who are just joining us, it looks like a bunch of people just came in late. If you do have a question, head down on my description. Look for the little text that says ask a question. I've got a link down there. Next question comes from Zcraft Origami, who says, I do paper and cardboard crafts. I think that's pretty cool on my channel, but my subscribers are not increasing. Subs increased 2 or 3 per month. What do I do? What you do is you keep on keeping on. I'm just going to quickly pull up your channel here so I can see what's going on, so I can give you the correct advice. 1 second here. So you've been uploading, this is what I suspected. This is why I wanted to look at your channel. So you're getting 2 or 3 subscribers a month. You've been uploading for 2 months and you only have maybe 20 videos. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep focusing on making great thumbnails. Your thumbnails aren't bad. It's great for getting started, but I think you could study some better thumbnails from other channels that are more successful than yours. Study those thumbnails and try to come up with a design for your own. I know it's work and it's practice and you're doing the best you can do now, but focus more on your thumbnails, focus more on your topics, and give it time. 2 months, 20 videos, if even 20, that's nothing. You know, make 100 videos, make 150 videos, make 75 videos, then come back and have this conversation. What's happening right now is you haven't built that channel momentum yet. So your channel is just kind of sitting there and it's idling and you're not really pushing it to go anywhere. So keep making content, focus on those thumbnails, focus on topics. You're very niche. I mean, you know who you're making content for. So keep making content for those people. Give it time. Give it time. You will, if people are responding to the content that you're making, even if it's 2 people per month or 3 people per month, keep doing what you're doing. You'll end up picking up channel momentum. Next question here. The fat guy, you guys are freaking awesome. That's right. And we're going to keep this PG. Otherwise, we're going to drop the other F. But I know there's, hey, Titastic, how you doing? Speaking of the other F, hope you were doing well. And Patia, sir. Next question comes from TDMJT. Hey, Lily Tree, how you doing? Question is, I feel stuck when it comes to my channel. Who feels stuck? I feel stuck sometimes too. I feel stuck when it comes to my channel. Can you give me some tips on how to get unstuck? Because at this point, I feel like giving up and restarting. Okay, well, here's the thing about giving up and restarting. If you give up and restart, you're going to be in the same position that you're in right now. Now, you're a gamer, right? You're in a very competitive niche. Everybody wants to be a gamer. Every single person wants to be a gamer. And I'm just going to do a glance here. What kind of game that you're playing? Okay, your thumbnails look pretty good. Thumbnails look pretty good. They're eye-catching. I don't know how they compare against other competitive channels that are doing the same thing as yours. Here's the thing about gaming. And it's not that you're necessarily stuck. It's just that you're not growing because people aren't finding enough value in what it is that you're doing, right? You're not growing because you're having a hard time being discovered. Here's what you need to do. Here's what I think you need to do. Anybody who's a gamer, I don't care what game that you're playing. Either you need to be a great gamer, a fantastic gamer. I mean, you win, right? Competitive level, great gamer. Or you need to be entertaining or charismatic or inspirational. Or you need to teach people how to play the game. So do one of those things, do all of those things if you can. But if you're just saying, hey, watch me play the game, why would someone watch you play the game if you're just some random person playing the game when they have millions of other channels that they can watch? Savvy Turtle, thank you so much. I'll get to you in 1 second here. So think about that. Great gamer, inspirational, entertaining, charismatic, or you're teaching people how to play the game. Do one of those things and go all in on one of those things and give it time. Give it time. Your thumbnails look good. I don't know what your gameplay looks like. I don't know if you're going live, if you're re-editing these. I don't know what you're doing with your content, but give it time, focus on one of those things, and think about how you can provide value to the people who are watching your videos. That's what matters. Fully involved media. Hey, Andrew, how you doing, my man? Nice to see you. Okay, Savvy Turtle says, how to set up the right time zone default. Borgata is messing up my upload schedule by 4 hours. Borgata? Trying to set as close to CST as possible. Borgata? What is Borgata? Am I missing something here? Borgata. Savvy Turtle, if you can, am I not up to speed on something called Borgata, or did your autocorrect put that in there? Borgata. What is Borgata? Clarify that for me, and then I can give you the answer. I'll keep an eye out for that. All righty here. Coca-Coke says, can I grow without talking for gaming? Let me come in here 1 second here. Let me take this off and come into my comments right here. Can I grow without talking for gaming? I'm not going to say it's impossible, but I'm going to say you have your work cut out for you. Because what you're saying is, watch me play the game and all you have is gameplay. Yes, there's opportunity there if you do it correctly. Live streaming, maybe not so much. Maybe. If you could do some creative things. I don't know if Sweeney Dunstan is in here, but Sweeney Dunstan has been having some success by doing live streams with no talking, but he's been playing music. You could do ASMR gaming. You could do soundtrack type gaming. You could have your own music put together and have like a chill session while you're playing the game. Then I think you could do it. But if you're just like, hey, I'm just playing the game, and you're not bringing something different to the table, you're going to have your work cut out for you. So can you do it? Yes. You're going to have to think of something that's a little bit different, though. When you upload, Borgata, when you upload, when you upload to YouTube, time zone default is Borgata. Oh, you need to reset. Okay, so here's what you need to do. Go into your, let me see if I can pull this. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can pull this up and show you on my screen without shutting all of this down. Give me 1 second. The Slot Freaks, 1 second here. Thank you so much for that. Give me 1 second. If you go, I want to make sure I tell you how to get to the right spot here. Hold on. If you go, okay, open up your browser, open up your YouTube browser, click on your profile picture, right, youtube.com, or go to youtube.com, go to your profile picture, and you should be able to go down and see location. I'm going to share my screen here 1 second. And let me know if this is not what you're talking about. So I'm going to do a screen share really quick. Chrome tab, YouTube. Right, so come up here. Right, oopsie. Come up here. Tap on that, and then come down to location and make sure that you have the correct location set up. Right, you can come in here and you can check all kinds of different options here. So make sure you have the correct option set up there. If that doesn't work for you, then I'm going to have to dig into the backside of this and figure out how to do it that way. So if that doesn't work for you, and if that doesn't answer your question, send me a tweet, send me a DM on Twitter, and then I'll walk you through how to hopefully get to that on the backside of that without actually going live and walking through that process right now. But let me know. Let me know if the first one takes care of that. All right, the Slot Freaks, where are we at here? Can I get a Domino's pizza delivered to you? Pineapple, thanks for answering my question. Yeah, happy to help, man. Hey, listen, I can always take a Domino's pizza, always, with pineapple. Hold on here, I'm gonna go back here. Okay, unbox and review with Kate says, hey, I'm about to shoot my first video. That's what I'm talking about. Should I actually do an intro video or just dive right in? I would say dive right in. Make that first video, dive right in, because if you're doing here, I'm making my first video, just introducing my channel and what it's about. You can do that if that makes you feel more comfortable. But look, you're starting at zero. You got a long way to go. You've got to make a lot of videos. It's just dive right in, dive right in with that first video and just get on it. Hold on here. Let me go back and catch up on this. You said, Savvy Turtle, you said ours is USA 2, but we're referring to the upload schedule. Oh, you're talking about if you're scheduling something inside of YouTube. Okay, send me a tweet. Let me know it's Savvy Turtle. If you have a different name, send me a tweet, send me DM, and then I'll help troubleshoot that with you offline. Because I'm going to have to dig in here, and if I screen share, I can't screen share all of the. So here's the thing about YouTube. You're not allowed to tell people your CPM. You can show people all sorts of other data, but you're not supposed to actually show them your actual CPM. And I'm afraid if I get in there and start clicking on stuff live, if I accidentally show somebody my CPM, I can get in trouble with that. So send me something on Twitter and I'm happy to help. All right, next question here. Oh, we're talking about stuck. Back to that one. I don't know if I answered that. Look, if you quit, you're right back to where you began. Don't start. It's late. Don't stop. Just keep making content. Focus on what I said. Great gamer, entertaining, charismatic, inspirational, or teach people how to play the game. Do one of those. Look, man, you're right back to where you started. Then you're going to do this all over again. Yeah, quitting's not the answer because you're probably going to do the exact same game, right? Same channel, same game, or just gamer. It's difficult. Cocoa Beans, next question. Nick, hey, Nick, how's it going? Nick says just adjust for the time zone. Yeah, but I believe there's a way because I think I've seen it too. When you go in there, I think there's a place where you can actually choose the time zone, if I'm not mistaken. All right, next question is, can I make good videos with a Chromebook? I use my mom's laptop for gaming. Yeah, if you get a Chromebook, I know the KineMaster app works perfectly on a Chromebook. I saw it when I was at VidCon last year. So get the KineMaster app for Chromebook and you can edit your videos. You'll be fine. You'll be fine with the Chromebook. Next question is the fat guy who says, I've just been approved for channel memberships. That's what I'm talking about. I'm still a very small channel and I'm in 2 minds of starting a membership program. What stage do you think a good time would be to start? I'm currently at 1,000. You're at 1,000 subs and they approved you for channel membership. That's awesome. I think if you have something that you can offer your community now, fire it up. Give it some thought, right? Think it through. Think about what you want to do, what you want to offer your community, and get started. I mean, if it's only one person, if it's 2 people, if it's 5 people, heck, it might be 500 people who come in. You don't know. So they gave it to you. I would start, think about what value you're going to offer them. Think what you're going to do for them. Yeah, and get going. Get going. That's fantastic. Next question. Nick, are you chiming in from the tent? I know Nick was out camping. Blue RBLX, who says, what's the best GFX app on the Google Play Store? The best graphics app? By graphics app, do you mean photo editing app for graphics? If so, I'm going to say, look, anytime you're talking about doing anything with graphics on a phone, I'm going to go with Lightroom, Snapseed, PixArt, and if you have an Android, which you do, I'm going to say Pixel Lab. Those are probably going to be the best. But you can also look at Enlight. They have, what's it called? Pixel Loop. Let me see if I've got it on this one. Let's see what I've got. It's on the phone that I'm actually streaming on. Let me see if I've got any on here. Retouch is great. PhotoFox is great, and so is QuickShot from Enlight. Those are fantastic. Next question is Slayer on Mars. Love the name. Slayer on Mars says, what app do you think I must use to record videos with? If you're talking about a camera app, your phone comes with a built-in camera app. Theoretically, if you have enough light. Okay, here's the thing with phones. See this little lens right here? This has a teeny weeny sensor. This has a teeny weeny sensor inside of it. A small sensor means it needs a lot of light in order to look good. So if you take your phone, the default camera that's in your phone, and you shoot either outside or shoot in the daytime, Open up the window, let the natural light come in. It's going to look 1,000 times better than if you're shooting in low light, right? If you're shooting in low light, those teeny weeny sensors, they don't look good in most phones, and you get grainy footage that doesn't look good. Now, Nick, I'm probably live for 30 minutes to an hour. 30 minutes to an hour, maybe. If you want to hop on or something like that, man, yeah, just let me know. I can't see my line message, Nick, so if you want to come on, send me a message here. Yeah, so you need light for a phone. Now, if you don't have manual controls on your phone, manual controls meaning you can set everything. You can set your exposure, you can set your white balance, you can set your frame rate, you can set all of that. Check out, if on an Android, check out Filmic Pro. Filmic Pro is a paid app. If you want something free on Android, check out Open Camera. They do have a paid version, I believe, if you want to shoot in 4K, but I think you can shoot up into 1080p with Open Camera for free, and that will give you full manual controls. Yes, email me the link. Okay. Hey, look at that. Can't sleep. Welcome. How are you doing, Monica? Can you help me? Can you help me get internal audio on Samsung? Uniquely Me is in the house. How you doing? Okay, if you have a Samsung, if you have, I believe they introduced it on Android 10. On Android 10, it has a built-in audio recorder. If you have an older Samsung, I don't think you're going to be able to do that unless you can upgrade to Android 10. So check into that. Hey, Tommy, how you doing? Nice to see you in here. All right, next question. Okay, so since we have a handful of channel members in here, I just want to say I was planning on having a member stream yesterday. I've been having we have decent internet put in here where we're at. It's been having some problems, so I didn't get to do the members live stream, so we are going to have one this coming week, probably within the next couple of days. Hold on here. What DM mean direct message? Savvy Turtle, are you asking me about how to DM me? Yeah, you can send me a direct message on Twitter. Just let me know it's you. If you have a different name, then let me know that it's you. All righty, next question. Next question is El Habibi de Mexico. That's what I'm talking about. Good night, gentlemen. My question is that I recently had monetization from a YouTube channel here in Mexico. Very cool. Today, when I checked my channel statistics as a routine checkup, I found that my estimated revenue has been decreasing dramatically. I reached here in about a month, and within 2 hours, I'm left with only half or maybe less of the revenue that I earned in a month. I'm so worried. Okay, so a couple of things could be happening. I would go through, first thing I would do is go through all of your videos and make sure that they have not been demonetized. So if you're monetized and you just seen a sharp drop off, you might have a bunch of channels or a couple of your higher performing videos that have been demonetized for whatever reason. It could just be a mistake. You know, YouTube might have hit them for a mistake, could be demonetized. If that's not the case, I would look at your traffic sources and see if your audience has changed. For example, if you're used to getting a certain CPM in Mexico and all of a sudden your videos are being shown to someone in, and I don't know if there's a big difference between Mexico and Peru for CPM, but let's just say a bunch of people, let's say your video is getting shared around in Peru, and so maybe your Peruvian traffic is increasing, but maybe they get paid less CPM there. So you might be getting a lot of views from them, but your CPM is going down because less people that normally see your videos are watching. So that could be it. That could be it. The fat guy says, how do you get, let me see where it's at here. This one right here. He says, how do you get comments to show up on your live stream like that? So I'm using a live streaming system called StreamYard, and it's really easy. They just have, so the comments show up here on the side. I'm in the admin. I can change my screen. I can bring in a guest and whatnot. And then I can simply tap on comments here, and they show up. Really easy. I got a link to StreamYard down in the description below. Hold on here. I need to send Nick should we get Nick in here? Should we get Nick Nimmin in here in the chat? You guys want Nick to come in? And I just realized something, and my apologies. Tracy, when you come in, I think I called you Monica. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. All right, so Nick, I'm sending you an email right now. Hold on one second here. Copy to clipboard. Hang in here with me, everybody. Nick, all right, Nick, that is sent out to you. All right, moving back to the questions here. Okay, so the gentleman in Mexico, yeah, check your traffic sources, check to see if any of your videos have been demonetized, because like I said, you could be getting traffic from somewhere else. It could be down. That'd be the first two places that I would check. Probably one of those has happened. I'm going to lean towards you might have some videos that are be demonetized. Let's see here. All right, next question. My computer, can you guys hear that? My computer, I'm like panicking down here. My computer is making this really loud. It's being overworked, and it's kind of weird because it's a pretty beefy machine. Next question from Natik Gupta, who says, why are you not answering stories? And what about uploads? You haven't uploaded in 2 months. You called me out. Number one, I am answering stories. I just haven't answered any in a couple of days. Number two, I haven't uploaded in 2 months. Yeah, I took a break. I'm working on some other things. I took a needed break. I needed to take a break. A lot of stuff going on in the world. And I focus on some other things, some products that I'm getting ready to release here in a little bit. But I also have some videos made and some videos that are just about finished with editing. So hopefully this coming week, I will resume with videos again. So thank you for caring about where my videos are. They're coming. They are coming. Simply Beth. I love it. Thank you. Here it is. She says, you are a pretty beefy machine. That's comment of the night right there. We're gonna leave this comment right there until somebody unseats that one. Yeah, Beanie says life happens. Yeah, exactly. It does. The fat guy. If you're cooking meth, let us know. Let's cook. Yeah. So here's the true story. I have a Winnebago. I was inspired by Breaking Bad, and we've driven down to Baja, Mexico. We got a van. We're cooking out of it. So yeah, all that. Other projects. Other projects, trying to score some methylamine. All right, before we get demonetized, that was a joke, everybody. YouTube, that was a joke. All right, next question. This one comes from Lunity Lord. He says, can you show me how to get internal audio on my Samsung? I answered that one. I don't know which model you have. If you've got Android 10, you should be able to get it. Question from Doom Brawl Stars, who says, how do I get more people to comment on my videos? How do you get more, Beanie, how do you get more people to comment on my videos? Okay, here's some tips that I've come across to get people to comment on videos. First and foremost, I just want to put out there that people love to give you their opinion. People love to agree with you. People love to disagree with you. People love to let you know what you did wrong, right? People love to give you an opinion. So position yourself, frame the conversation in a way that allows people to give a comment, right? And don't make them think about what they're going to say. You have to lead the question. For example, because I have a phone channel, I'm going to talk about a video that I might do on my channel. Let's say I'm doing a video of the top 5 video editing apps for Android, right? Top 5 video editing apps for Android. That's the title of the video. So I'm going to start my video off with a hook. Today I'm going to show you the top 5 video editing apps for Android, and if your app doesn't make the list, make sure to go down, leave a comment, and let me know what app to look into. I'll have a look at it for a future video, right? What I did is I told them, hey, if your app's not on here, go down and let me know what I missed. Do things like that. I believe you were doing wrestling. So you can talk, you're doing Doom Brawl Stars. I don't know if it's a wrestling game or what, but you're doing some sort of a comparison, right? So ask them, do you think this person should have won? Or do you think this team should have won? Or, you know, I think I think he's a superior athlete. What do you think? Ask them what you think. Don't just say leave a comment. Anytime you say leave a comment, what that does is it puts the viewer in a position to where they have to think of something to say. Eliminate that barrier and give them something to say, right? Start that conversation. What do you think about this? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Right? Give them something to give you an opinion on, and then ask for their opinion in return. Believe it or not, that sort of thing, ask. And if all else fails, you can do something that I do that I learned from Luria Petrucci from Live Streaming Pros. You can say things like, if you're like, do your hook, right? Today I'm going to talk about XYZ. You can talk just a little about something else, and then you can say something like, if you're new to the channel, drop a hashtag new so I can go down there and give you a proper welcome to the channel. Right? If you're new to the channel, drop a hashtag new. You'd be surprised how many people will drop a hashtag new, or use whatever word that you want. Drop a hashtag pineapple, or just say pineapple. Say whatever you want to say, whatever you want, whatever word you want to choose. But here's the thing: if you are using hashtags, a lot of them do show up in the spam filter or the folder that you need to review. So just keep an eye in there, because hashtags will show up over there. And yeah, I mean, those things are great ways to drive comments. The main thing is you just want to, oh, Nick's in here. The main thing is you just want to remove that barrier where people don't have to think about leaving a comment, right? Ask them a question and they come back and they give you an answer. Hold on. We're going to get Nick in here. Hold on. Let me remove this. So simply, Beth, you're going to be unseated because I have to bring in somebody here. There it is. Hashtag new right there. See, right there, it's perfect, right? If you're new to this live stream, if you're new to my channel, within the past 30 days, drop a hashtag new into the chat right now. Let me see who's new, right? Let's see. I know Slug Missile is not new. But Bohas, sir, he's new. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the channel, sir. Hope you're having an awesome day or evening wherever you are. There he is. And ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Nick Nimmin.
I kind of feel like dropping a hashtag right now.
Yeah.
What's going on?
A little hashtag. First of all,
like dropping a little hashtag. I feel kind of like dropping a little hashtag right now. Yeah. What? Yeah. I feel kind of dropping a hashtag.
Well, why don't you drop some deets on that shirt, by the way?
You mean the D Nimmin Hustle Maker Creator merch that I'm wearing right now? Is that what you're talking about? I don't know what you mean.
Like that. So that's my shirt. So if you're interested in a Hustler Maker Creator shirt, I've got some other shirts down there. Dark mode live happens.
I'm going to show you the dark mode too. The dark mode's awesome. Hold on.
I hope you got pants on. Links down below to that as well. They're really soft.
Yeah, here's the dark mode.
Yeah, it's dark.
Super dope.
Yeah, dark mode.
Yeah, and they're really soft too. Super comfortable. Really, really comfortable.
Father-son reunion. Yeah, so here's a funny thing that happens. People have asked me for so long, hey, for 2 years now, hey, do you know Nick Nimmin? You look just like Nick Nimmin. Are you brothers?
He always denies it. He's like, no, I don't know that guy.
After so many people ask me that, I've just started saying I'm your dad. I was like, yeah, Nick's my son. I'm his dad. So
love it. That's awesome. Hey, really quick. Also, the person that was talking about the comments.
Yes.
With that one. Also, another thing that you can do if you don't know the right question to ask to actually lead people into your comments, if you can't create like a natural thing like that, you can also just throw in like a question of the day. And on that question of the day, that's something where people can just answer whatever it happens to be also. And like Dee was saying, the idea is you just want to take that energy, that extra effort they have to put in. You just want to remove it if possible, so that all they have to do is answer a simple question without having people, have to work for the comments. So
El Jefe is in the house. What's going on, brother?
What's up, boss?
Hope you were doing well. So we have some people coming in saying new, but that's exactly how it works, right? Just like that. Ask a question. It could be a question of the day. Now, here's something else that's important. anytime you're going to do a call to action, and that's what you would call that, right? You're asking them to do something. It could be to leave a comment, to subscribe, to head down to your description, to click on a link, to get your course, whatever it is, it's a call to action. Place them out in a couple different places in the video. I like to front load one early on. And Nick, I don't know if you do the same thing, but I like to front load them because as people drop off and they stop watching your video as time goes on, if you look at your audience retention graph, people are generally leaving as time goes on, unless you're awesome like Nick and Beanie Draws and Doug Hewson. Right? So I like to make sure that
they still leave as time goes on, for sure. They still leave as time goes on. Yeah.
So I like to ask early on, right? If I'm trying to drive attention to something, comments, subscribe, click on a link, whatever it is, I like to front load that as early as possible. Do you ever do that, Nick?
Sure, absolutely. I do that typically with my subscribe call to action. I basically build in why they should subscribe, why my channel is of value, and then I ask people to subscribe. And then I also have a graphic that comes up to remind people to subscribe about halfway through, give or take. And then I also do it at the end of my videos and most of my videos. And the reason for that is because some people are not going to subscribe right away. Other people are. Once they're like, oh, wait a minute, this entire channel is going to help me grow my channel, make videos and all types of other YouTube related stuff, I'm in. Click. Right. And then for the people that didn't get there, those people that are like, oh, I would never subscribe to a YouTube channel who asked me to subscribe, shortly after the video starts. For those people, I'll get them in the middle or towards the end as they go through the video. But the idea with all these different things, with trying to get people to comment and trying to lead people into, the subscribe or the comment or the like, whatever it happens to be. The idea with all those things is simply just reminding people. And this is even more important if you're making just awesome content. If you're making really good content, people are going to be watching your videos. They're not going to be thinking about, oh, hey, I need to make sure I leave a comment. Hey, I need to make sure I subscribe. Hey, I need to make sure that I do this, that, or the other thing. We think all that stuff because we're content creators, but for civilians, that's not something that they're necessarily thinking about. So what you're doing in that situation is you're just reminding them that is, that's something that they should do if they want more content from you, or if they want to interact with you in some way, or if they want to, give you any type of feedback to the questions that you're asking them in the videos.
Man, nailed that one.
Thank you.
Nailed that one. And I just realized one of my lights in the back burned out just while you were talking. So I had like a purple and a pink.
I saw it. I actually watched it go. I thought you were messing with it.
No. So one of them is, you know how you put stuff together and it's like, okay. And then at the last minute, you're like, oh man, one of my batteries isn't charged.
It's one of those situations.
Yeah, that. And yeah, Charlie, so I'm in Baja California, which is northern Mexico, northern Baja. And Charlie probably knows this is where they have the Baja 500 and the Baja 1000. So yeah, all that stuff.
Nice. Yeah, with these also, because I think this is what you're using for that.
That's exactly what I'm using. Yeah.
Yeah, you can plug your iPad charger into this, and then it'll just stay on that way. So in the event that you don't want to rely solely on battery power, you can just plug in your iPad charger if you're so inclined, if you feel so inclined.
You know what? I'm just gonna go with the one little pink hotspot back there. I'm just rolling with that. Yeah,
it works.
So let's talk about the beard. You've been growing the beard. You look trim.
Me?
Yeah, you look like you've trimmed.
Oh yeah, I definitely trimmed. I went into stay-at-home mode, which was, hey, the beard's going to grow out a little bit, all that stuff. But since we, are relatively, I wouldn't say normal, but we're getting there here. Because of that, I got to get back into my somewhat normal grooming habits in order to, get myself together. I got to start going to the gym or something too, man. All that inside, not moving around and eating good food, every day at home and just kind of stacking up the plates, you know what I mean? Put on a few extra pounds. Give us a hashtag me too. If maybe that's not a great one for a live stream, not sure.
Yeah, we're not doing that one.
Give me a hashtag me if you also put on a few pounds during the like while you're stuck in home and all that good stuff.
The lockdown pound.
Yeah, the lockdown. Oh, that's good. Yeah, the lockdown pound.
Pounds. So Trish asks, sorry, Trish, man, I'm just slaughtering your name. Tracy asks, Nick, are you close to the fires in Thailand? Man, my apologies. I'm just terrible with names today.
That's why I always use the channel names.
Tracy.
Just to be on the safe side. Just because I'm bad with that sort of thing.
Well, the funny thing is I know some of the names. but sometimes the channel names will confuse me sometimes.
Hey, we got some other people that are admitting to the extra poundage that they've picked up from the eating good food while they've been inside. So fires here. I didn't even know there were fires happening
Hey, Sarah,
right now.
how you doing?
So here locally that I'm aware of, I don't even know if we have any fires. I know that typically, you know, we do have fires every year, and we have like a smoke season where I am locally, and that smoke season will last like a few months. But there's not like one big fire that comes from an accumulation of fires happening all over the entire region. So that might be what you're talking about. Or
hey, I'm going to let you cover this for a second. Carry this for just a second.
Or I just got here. Like I went up into the mountains yesterday, and we stayed all night there. Nice, really cool place with like a really cool view of the mountains, and to where like we're high enough in the mountains to where it had like where you could like look down and see like the clouds, you know, kind of down below you and stuff. It was really cool. But anyway, I just got back from that, so I haven't like checked up on any news or anything like that. So I have no idea if you know of any fires or anything like that. So El Jefe is warning everybody really quick, saying if you spam the chat, then you are definitely going to be timed out. So just wanted to give you a heads up on that. So if you're like, hey, I want to spam the chat, just a heads up, you will get timed out by the boss, and he is one you do not want to get timed out by. Oh, so good. So let's see here. So Beanie says we got rid of our fires and replaced it with COVID instead. Yeah, it's kind of, you know, swapping one thing for the other. Go 2020, right? What can you do though? So let's see here. The freaks. There's one of these that I saw that I wanted to address. Oh, which is the best smartphone for filmmaking? Says Katish Khalida. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. D is probably a better one to answer that question than I am. However, I would definitely say that, you know, iPhones are awesome, and really any of the top tier phones from any of the manufacturers are probably going to do the trick for you, because they all, you know, you'll be able to install apps in order to fine tune the adjustments on the actual camera itself. You'll be able to have the footage relatively stable and all of that. But even with a lower end phone these days, you can still make awesome videos. But what you got to think about more than anything is in order to use the phone that you have, just think about, what is my lighting like? Because your lighting is going to make a really big difference on what your image looks like on your phone. So if you're in a low lit place, you're going to see a lot of grain, and everything is going to be kind of like and low quality looking. But if you can go outside, and I'm sure you've experienced this, you know, when you're making your videos and taking photos anyway, but when you go outside, then in that situation, you're like, hey, I'm out in like a bright sun, and now all the footage that I'm taking is, you know, high quality. It looks great. You can see all the detail, you know, and all of that. So if you're making videos inside, you just have to create. I mean, of course, you don't want to turn your place into the sun, so to speak, but you can get, you know, a little bit of simple lighting in order to, you know, make your images look better.
Right on. It's really, for a smartphone, it's all about lighting. Mm-hmm. It's all about lighting. And I mentioned earlier, because they have teeny weeny sensors. Teeny weeny sensors need a lot of light. That's all there is to it. Like if you have grainy footage, it's because you have low light. It's that simple. I'm going to power through a couple of these questions. Down with the grain. That's right.
Down with the grain.
Yeah, I'm going to power through a couple of these questions here, if you don't mind. So Everything Apex says, what is a good, this is good. I'm going to let you handle this one. What is a good retention rate?
A good retention rate is better than your last video. So basically, here's the thing. When it comes to a retention rate, what I recommend to people is the very first goal that you should try to hit is try to get to 50% of whatever your videos are. If you can get to 50% of a 10-minute video, then you're on a great path, because every time somebody clicks on your video, you're going to accumulate, you know, on average of 5 minutes from the people that are clicking on your video of watch time on those videos, which is a fair amount, depending on the space that you're in. However, it's going to vary from niche to niche. It's going to vary from channel to channel in terms of what quality looks like with the retention. Right. In some cases, you'll see videos that will have a low audience retention, but they'll be super engaging. The audience will be really engaged in the actual comments and likes and things like that. And their click-through rate will be high. So because of that, the videos will still do okay, even though the retention on a 10-minute video in that situation would be like, 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes or something like that. But ultimately, what you're trying to do is you're not trying to necessarily say, okay, I'm going to make sure that if I have a 10-minute video, that I'm just hitting the 50-minute mark. That's not what, or the 50% mark. That's not what you're going for. What you're going for is I need to continually try to improve. So some videos, I'm going to nail it. Some videos, you know, I might hit 60 or 70% or maybe even higher, depending on what it is that you're doing. And then other videos, you're going to be like, oh man, I totally missed the mark on that. I thought this was going to be good, but you know, it wasn't. And, you know, people responded with a 30% audience retention because what I was doing, they just didn't respond to as well as I thought they would. Other things can be dependent as well. Like, for example, if you're doing a tutorial video, really good chance that your retention is going to be much better because somebody's actually clicking on that video. They're learning something. They might even be following along. And because of that, that can also help the retention be easier than, let's say, just a commentary video. If it's a commentary video, then it comes down to you being engaging and being able to hold their attention through either the story that you're telling through your commentary or just through how you present your content in the first place. So you know, it's really dependent on what it is that you're doing. But ultimately, you just have to be competitive within your niche, whichever. Both of them are acceptable. I've looked this up. Both are acceptable based on, you know, where you're at. But the thing is you need to just make sure that every single video that you put up, you're paying attention to how people are reacting to it. And then you go through and you over time start noticing, hey, you know, people leave when I do these things, they stay when I do these things. And then that's going to be kind of like a map of sorts that you need to apply to all the content that you're uploading, so that even if it's not an extremely high retention on every video does have an acceptable amount of retention, which will help those videos do better. But here's the thing, even if your retention is great, you still got to win the click, because they're not going to be able to see that awesome video if you can't win the click. So you have to think of the whole process that people go through when it comes to consuming content. They see a video, they think, you know, topically, if it's something they're not even thinking about it. It's all just reaction to stuff. But, you know, topically, is it something that they're interested in? If it is something that they're interested in topically, then what is it that you're actually doing to convince them to go from, you know, seeing your video somewhere to actually clicking on it because of the title and the thumbnail, or how they're actually working together? You know, what is it that you're doing there in order to get them to click? That's the very first thing. And then from there, then, you know, it ends up, you know, being dependent on your video. And then, of course, if you can further get them to engage and stuff like that.
So one thing I want to say about my retention rate is some of my best performing videos in terms of search traffic that would just dominate for search have terrible retention rates, but a very high click-through rate. But that really also comes down to, one, click-through rate, and two, even though the audience retention is low, it's outperforming the other videos that are competing for the same topic. So you're competing against other videos for the same topic as well. When it comes
and with
to
that also, like with the
traffic.
And with the retention, you're also looking at numbers also. So like, for example, just like with the click-through rate, how it can become increasingly more difficult to maintain a solid click-through rate. That's an awesome zoom. How it can become increasingly more difficult to have that, to maintain a high click-through rate when you're getting a lot of impressions. The same exact thing comes through your audience retention. If you're just getting crushed on views, then it can become increasingly more difficult to maintain retention on a video as well. So as you start getting more views, you might notice that your retention suffers a little bit. So you'll see people on Twitter and on Reddit, and, you know, here in the chat, you'll probably see somebody say it, where people will say things like, you know, hey, I've got a 15% click-through rate, and I've got a 60% audience retention, but YouTube isn't showing my videos to anybody. And then you ask, you know, okay, well, how many views do you have? Well, I've got, you know, like 15 views. Well, It's really easy to hit those kind of metrics with 15 views because people are coming in from the subscription feed, or people are coming from your channel page directly. And because of that, it can help inflate those numbers. But then when they actually start testing it against people, that's where things start to fail, because once they start showing that content to random people on YouTube, or people that aren't already exposed or interacting with what it is that you're doing, that's where those numbers start to decline faster, because they're not responding to it when they're showing it to random people, which then in turn causes you not to get those impressions that you're wanting.
There you go. So the fat guy says, I've asked this before, but my longer videos, 40 plus minutes in length, are getting great minutes, but have a retention rate much lower than my shorter sub 10-minute videos. Is this to be expected?
I'm going to guess that you're talking about percentage viewed.
Yeah,
if you're talking about Yeah, if you're talking about percentage viewed, then of course, if you have a 40-minute video, then there's going to be a serious commitment involved with that. And because of that, that percentage viewed is typically going to end up being less depending on the type of content it is. But if you're getting if you have a 10-minute video and you have a 40-minute video, but both of them are getting 5 minutes worth of retention on them, then in that case, I wouldn't even waste time on 40-minute videos, unless you're getting a lot of people going through them. If you're averaging if you're averaging 25%, but then you still get you hold people once it goes down to that 25, you hold people for the rest of it, then in that case it would still be worth it. But you just want to balance it out based on how people are responding and how much time you're actually putting into the content, because having a 40-minute video that people are only watching 10% of or 20% of is wasting a bunch of time on on all of the rest of the minutes there in that particular video, as long as I understood your question correctly.
All right, next question here is from SWO Automotive, who says, I've been doing YouTube since the beginning of the year, but I only have 95 subscribers. How can I get more? My answer to that would be keep going. You just started. You're just getting started. You still have to build up your channel momentum. Make sure that you're focused. Know who your audience is. Make videos for that audience. So I would focus there and just keep going. You're going to give this time. It's going to take a while to get the wheels spinning.
Took me 5 months to get my first 150 subscribers.
5 months.
Yep, took 5 months for me to get my first 150 subscribers when I started on YouTube. So one of the things that you'll hear people talk about is, make X amount of videos, make 50 videos, make 100 videos. And the idea there isn't so that you'll work yourself into a hole. The idea is so that over the time, as long as you're paying attention while you're making those 50 or 100 videos, the idea there is that during that process of making all that content, you're going to learn a ton. And the key to that statement is that as long as you're paying attention. And what I mean by that is you're paying attention to how people are responding to your titles and your thumbnails. You're paying attention to how they're responding to different things that you're doing in the videos, so that over that 50 to 100 videos that you're making, you're using that as a fine-tuning process to dial in your content so that it's a great fit for the people that your videos are being put in front of. All light motion in the house. What is up?
What's going on, man? So it's awesome that you're streaming when I'm awake. Yeah, that's right. It's
streaming when I'm awake too. Normally, I'm half asleep. It's the end of my night normally.
So I have this weird thing that's going on with the internet here. In the daytime, the morning time, this location for the Airbnb, the internet just comes to a grinding halt. Just really difficult to hold a connection. It's really slow. And then usually it's the opposite. Usually as the nighttime, people get off work and that sort of thing, internet gets clogged up. But it's kind of the opposite at this particular location, which is kind of weird. So doing things a little bit later.
Hey D, really quick, I'm one more thing that I want to tell the fat guy also is also when you're looking at your retention, if you really want to get an understanding of what's really going on in your channel, also, of course, YouTube's going to show you your general audience retention report. But on that longer videos, when you're making the comparison to the long ones to the shorter ones, also go in and look at the retention that you're getting in your traffic sources for each traffic source. So for example, you might find that in search, you're getting a high retention, and in browse, you're getting a low, or in suggested, you're getting high, but in search, you're getting low, that kind of thing, to where you can kind of see where the traffic is coming from and where people are responding to it best, so that you can also use that as part of your future strategy in terms of, okay, if I'm making a video that is targeted towards search, then when I make these shorter videos, people aren't responding to them as well in terms of retention. But when I make the longer ones, they are, or vice versa. Then if you're making something that you're trying to bring attention to through search, that you would lean on the shorter one compared to the longer one, for example. Same exact thing goes if you're trying to, get suggested more or whatever. If you compare those videos and the traffic sources and you look at the watch time there, and of course you can see your click-through rate there and other things as well. But the idea is you want to use that information as part of your future strategy for when you're deciding on what type of video that you're going to put out.
Yeah, and I just want to say, for everybody who's always looking for a intro video or something to do special effects, these guys right here, Alight Motion, who are in the chat right now, amazing app, available for both Android, iOS users. A really cool app. I actually have a video that I made at Vid Summit. Man, how old is that video now? I don't know. I probably put it up maybe 5 or 6 months ago. But I'm terrible at time. Nick can tell you. Might have been a year ago. I don't know. But it's
speaking of time, man. The last few months, I was thinking about that today. I was like, man, I don't even know what happened.
Sense, dude. What 2020?
Yeah, I was like, I don't even know what happened. It was just kind of like, it's just kind of like a whole pocket of time just completely evaporated. And I'm not even sure like what happened, to be honest with you. It's crazy.
Yeah, 2020 for me, starting at like, because for those of you who don't know, Nick and I live in Thailand. And this whole
typically
normally living, he's in Thailand now. I'm actually stranded in Mexico. But this whole thing started for us because China had this problem back in January. So I think we started wearing masks in February, if I'm not mistaken. So this has been going on for us since February. So 2020 for me so far has pretty much just been looking at people wearing masks and watching the news and just counting the numbers. Like you just wake up the next day, count the numbers, and you see people saying, "I'm not wearing a mask," and it's like, "All right."
You're going, yeah.
Just like, I'm never getting home. I'm never getting out of here. We were grocery shopping last night. Do I have a mask? I don't look at my masks over here. So we're grocery shopping, and I'm in the aisle, but I'm like 10 feet away, and I'm just going down the aisle pushing the cart, and this woman, she takes her mask off of her face and sneezed, and then put it back on. And I thought, this is never going to end. This is never, ever going to end.
Yeah, they started in February as well. All Light Motion, because they're in Korea, right?
That's right, man.
Yeah,
South Korea.
Yeah,
they're in the.
I was hoping not North Korea. Yeah,
I was going to say if they're in North Korea,
we're going to have to, working, putting some apps together.
Yeah, Douglas, if you're in North Korea, let us know, man. Blink twice, Douglas, and we'll attack at dawn. Oh my goodness. All right, so I'm going to take another question here from the forum. This one comes from Arthur Moorhead, who says, what do you know about YouTube's API key rules? I don't know anything about YouTube's API key rules.
Nor do I.
Maybe a Light Motion, maybe they do. If you have a specific question, not to put the heat on anybody from a Light Motion, but he probably has a better understanding than I do.
Yeah, he's like, oh, why did I come in here? Yeah.
Right. He's like, I'm never, ever coming to this chat again. Right. And by the way, if you want to call him, his number is 572-898-4942.
Now, how crazy would it be if you just randomly guessed the phone number? That'd be epic, wouldn't it? Somebody's like, interesting. I wonder if, directly call them.
Ask for Cindy. Ask for Cindy. All right, next question for Midnight Madness 4x4. How's it going, Charlie? He says, D, I've got an iPhone 11 Pro recently. Welcome to the family, Charlie. And I love the camera, but I've got one major problem right now. When I try to transfer most of my videos, 4K 60 frames a second, to the PC, most of the files are corrupt somewhere in the process and cannot be read or played. They work fine on the phone, then something happens during the transfer or copy process. Would you happen to have a suggestion? I do have a suggestion for you, Charlie, and I'm going to walk you through this. So what you want to do, Charlie, is you want to go into your settings. Then you want to go down and go down to camera. Once you're into camera, you want to go into format. And once you're in format, you're going to see high efficiency or most compatible. Put it on most compatible. It's probably on high efficiency right now if you're having corrupt files issues. That's usually the problem. If ever you have a problem with the video on iPhone, 9 out of 10 times, it's because it's set to high efficiency. So yes, that's the answer to your problem. And see, that was worth staying awake for, Charlie. I just fixed it.
And if they're getting corrupted also on the transfer from your phone to your computer, you might also just try uploading them directly from your phone to like Dropbox or something and pulling some down that way and just experimenting with if it's the actual transfer itself or if it's the files within the phone that are causing the problem.
Yeah. Try that. Try transfer in a different way. If none of that works, head on over to settings, change the format. 9 out of 10 corrupt files that I've had on my iPhone, it's because of that setting. And it took me a while to figure that out.
Mine too. Hey, Deeb, what do you think of the whole TikTok thing? I'm not fully following it, but the Slot Freaks here says, do you think the massive TikTok influence is going to push viewers to want shorter videos across the platforms like YouTube? I don't think that's going to happen. And you know, just because, you know, like if you like, there's the other way also, like people watch movies, they watch Netflix, you know, that kind of stuff. So I think that it just creates that shorter expectation experience on TikTok. This is my opinion. I think that it creates that expectation on TikTok. YouTube, you know, depending on the type of content somebody watches, they might, you know, watch longer videos, or they might watch shorter videos depending on what it is that they watch. But that's already going to be built into whatever type of content they watch. And then of course, when you go to, you know, like TV and stuff like that, then, you know, things are obviously longer. So you just expect a different thing when you go to the different places.
So here's my take on that. I was anti TikTok. I was anti short form content. It didn't make sense to me until so what happens is, so TikTok has an algorithm. Triller has an algorithm. Byte has an algorithm. These short form platforms, they have algorithms, okay? And you train
I read a
them.
whole thing. TikTok released information on theirs, like literally lining out how they, you know, recommend content to people.
Right. So let's just talk about TikTok for a second. So they've got an algorithm just like YouTube has an algorithm. They look at what you watched, they look at when you watch it, they look at what you're not interested in, they look at what you comment on, how you engage, the same sort of thing, user behavior. So it took me many months to train TikTok to show me the type of content that I wanted to see. I mean, I don't even know how many, and I'm not even exaggerating, thousands and thousands of videos where I long press, and I said, not interested, thousands and thousands and thousands of it. I don't even know why I kept doing it, but I did. And what happened was I started to get less brawless women dancing, trying to get views, and less dumb things, and I started to get more content that I was interested in, because I would, if it was something that I liked, I would give it a heart or I would leave a comment. And then lo and behold, the algorithm says, hey, he doesn't want to see, you know, kids dancing. He's interested in home improvement stuff. He's interested in cosplay. He's interested in tech tips. He's interested in comedians. He's interested in all these things. So what happened was my TikTok, probably 90% of it, is now full of content that I like. And some of these people creating short form content are really good. They're really good at what they do. And what I'm finding is I'm watching less YouTube and I'm watching more TikTok. And I noticed that shift about 2 weeks ago. And I thought to myself, if more people can train, like if the algorithms of the short form content apps can train faster to give people what they want quicker so they don't give up on it. Because the biggest thing about TikTok, anytime you see somebody posting, the people just say this.
I gave up on it for exactly what it is that you're talking about. Same exact thing.
People
Just
say,
completely
it's just a
gave
bunch
up
of stupid kids. It's a bunch of stupid kids dancing. It's a bunch of teenage girls dancing or whatever.
Right.
Like that's what you hear. But if they can improve the speed on how quickly it learns what you want, man, now people are always going to watch.
I've got mine fine-tuned now too. Like it's still showing me a lot of the crap, but I'm having more and more of the good stuff sprinkled in. But for me, some of the stuff, like I dig it. In terms of just some of the really quick information that you can, you know, that you don't have to spend 5 minutes on, you know, like on like a YouTube video, that part's cool. But I'm still just not, it's just not, for my brain, it's not there. Well, what do you think though, in terms of them, possibly banning it? What do you think of that whole thing?
Let me finish my train of thought.
Okay.
Because it's been training me to enjoy short form content better, because people are getting better at creating short form content. So I don't think YouTube's going to see a huge loss, but I think they are going to see some. But here's the thing: more people are coming onto YouTube as people will transition over to short form content. I think that younger generations coming into this are probably going to gear towards short form content because it's stealing me away. I mean, YouTube still has its place, but I'm noticing my attention span is now getting worse for YouTube videos. Like I used to be able to sit through a 5-minute video. Now I'm like, oh, come on. And I'm like scrubbing through it. So yeah, it's changing how I view content. And I've only been doing this for a couple of months now. Do I think
you should experiment with making TikTok style videos on YouTube? Not to where it would be like a minute, but to where it would still be like a 5-minute video, but the pacing would just be, you know, just over the top like it is on TikTok, where everything's just like bam, 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 bam. And then you'd have to have an interrupt in there somewhere to where, you know, it wouldn't tire people out, to where it'd be like bam, 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 and then it slows down for a second, and then bam, bam, bam. That'd be an interesting thing to experiment with.
So do I think that they're going to ban TikTok? Okay, here's the thing. A security study was made. Over 50 apps were found to be scraping the clipboard in iOS. And what they mean by that is if you're in the Apple ecosystem, if you have an iPad, an iPhone, and an Apple computer, I could hit copy on my iPhone and come over to my computer and hit paste, and it would paste. It's a shared clipboard. Or I can just copy it on my phone and paste it somewhere else on my phone. So there was 52, 53 apps that had access to the clipboard and were scraping data off of the clipboard. 50-something apps were doing this. Apple says it's not a big deal. Security experts say it's the end of the world. This is a huge deal, especially because TikTok and your scraped data is going to end up in China's servers, and you're going to end up in a communist dungeon, right? So out of those apps, no app got focused on except for TikTok. 50-something apps, TikTok is the focus, but they were all caught doing the exact same thing. You know who else was caught doing the same thing? LinkedIn. How much news press are you getting from LinkedIn? Zero. The only reason that I know LinkedIn was doing it is because they're getting sued. Somebody's suing them for scraping their data. They've since come back and they've said that they've cut that off. But LinkedIn is getting sued for doing the exact same thing that TikTok is doing.
I think that this is a thing from a bunch of different angles. I think that I think that it's money related, as almost everything is. In terms of course, they would be able to collect on some of the creators, but in terms of them being able to collect on the company, they're basically, in terms of I mean like the U.S. government and the company having to pay taxes to the U.S. government. I think that they are.
Get this. Their operations, their operations, it's U.S. based.
I didn't know that. Okay. I retract that then.
It's either I think it's their vice president used to work for Disney.
Okay. They have offices in the USA where they would have to pay taxes directly to the USA for the app.
Yeah, I believe so.
For the people in the office.
They've separated their system. So they have the Chinese version of the app. That's a completely different entity. Then they have the Western version, the rest of the world. That stuff's not even served in China. There's so much bad information going around about TikTok right now. And unfortunately, we have a president who believes everything
that was one of the other angles too.
Right. So
it's just like a fight, like a little kid fight.
There's two problems with what's going on. And number one, TikTok trolled Trump. The reason his Oklahoma rally was so empty is because TikTokers rallied together and they registered all the seats. So they thought that there was going to be people waiting to get in. There was nobody who showed up. So they trolled Trump.
Epic.
People are making TikTok videos. They're making TikTok videos with millions of views, listing all of Trump's properties, everything that he owns, and driving people to Google to leave 1 star on everything. So his restaurants, everything that he has access to, people are rating them just 1 star. They're marking them. They're marking them on maps as being like public toilets. So the TikTok is literally attacking Trump. Second thing is you have, so that's one reason he's going after it. Two is you're talking about a guy who retweets things that just aren't verified, right? He's promoting a doctor who believes in demon pregnancies, right? So you're dealing with somebody like this. So they're going to wrap this around security. They're going to wrap this around, you're going to end up in a Chinese dungeon. The communists have got your data. False. All that's false. You can look up the information on yourself. But unfortunately, the guy running the show, he's going to make the calls on this. Do I think it's going to get deleted? Under normal circumstances, I would say no. However, because we're dealing with a guy who does believe in doctors who believe in demon pregnancies, I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. He just might be somebody who would do that just because he could read a tweet. Well, yeah. I mean, he gets upset and fires back at things sometimes. So if he thinks that they're unfairly, if they continue to troll him, good chance they're going to get banned. So
they'll continue to troll him. Like, that's just too awesome not to. Like, how could you not continue that?
They're not going to stop.
Yeah, I mean, that's so epic that they've taken like that route in terms of 1-starring his stuff and talk about lateral thinking. That's fantastic.
Here's what's going to happen. If they ban TikTok tomorrow, those people aren't going to stop creating.
Right.
First of all, there's an entire world that's not going to get banned. Only the United States, right?
Yeah.
And people are going to be using VPNs to get around it and whatnot, but people are going to just shift over to another app. People are they're flying over to Byte. They're flying over to Triller, right? They're flying over to, what's another one?
Hasn't Triller been around for a while?
Yeah, but people are piling it. So they're making TikToks saying like, hey, in case this gets deleted, here's where I'm going to be.
Here, and here. Yeah.
Right. So they're going to reorganize where that's. So they're going to, if it's because they're trolling him, he's playing whack-a-mole, and that's what's going to happen. So I don't know. If I had to bet money on it being banned, I'm going to say no, it's not going to be banned. I think it's hot air. I think he's trying to intimidate them. I read that Microsoft was at one point thinking about buying TikTok, or they were in talks, but I think they pulled out. It's a disaster. But,
Hey, are you still uploading over there?
Am I still what?
Are you still uploading over on TikTok?
I haven't uploaded in a while because my audience changed, right? So here's another thing with TikTok.
Did you change your SIM card?
Right. So I had a US, so I live in Thailand. I was getting served Thai content. I came to the US, I got a US SIM card. I started getting US content. I started uploading. My channel exploded. I got like 30,000 subscribers in like a month. Then I got a Mexican SIM card, and I started getting Spanish speaking audience, and then my views started to slow down. So I need to, I'm going to test another video maybe this week to see how that one does. So I slowed down my uploads because of that. But whenever I get back to a US number, I'm full bore. Once you hit 100,000 subscribers, you get access to their, hear that? Can you hear the sirens?
No. Oh yeah, I just heard one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know they're going to start
Walker?
paying creators. I saw something about how they're going to start paying creators too. They've basically gotten a bunch of funds together, and they are going to start paying creators as well.
Yeah, they're going to start paying creators, and they have a kind of their version of FameBit, but it's for TikTok. It's a creator, I forget what they call it, the creator workplace or creator workshop or something like that. It's basically where they match brands with your account, but nothing's stopping you from getting those brand deals on your own. So for me, I'm just using it as another place. So when I want to, of course, I want to build it up as much as possible. So when I negotiate with a brand, especially if it's an app, I can say, hey, here's what I've got. I can mention you social media posts. I can make YouTube videos about you. And I have a TikTok with 100,000 followers, or it's just another out.
Yeah.
Hey, Eileen, how you doing? Hope
you're Eileen.
Well. Boy, we just kind of went all over the place on that one.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. And Rob Walker says, use a VPN to use TikTok. Yeah, that might work.
I don't think people do that effort, because then you're paying to use TikTok, or you could use a free VPN to use TikTok. But I it's going to slow down, your internet and all that stuff. I don't think people will go through that route. It'll be easier to just go ahead and start, using another thing if it were to get banned, because there wouldn't be enough people on it. I wouldn't think that would start doing that. In terms of a VPN, in order to actually make it worth it. Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't use it, but if you're a US based creator and you've built a business or a very big following on there, it's definitely going to be worth it to them.
Sure.
Some people are getting paid a lot of money for getting posts on TikTok. So if there's money over there, there's opportunity over there.
Alex crossed 500,000 viewers over there, or subscribers, followers, whatever you call them.
Hey, Vigard, how you doing, man? Nice to see you.
Vigard, what's up, dude?
All right, so I'm going to go through some of these couple more questions here. Next question comes from Slug Missile. How many tags should I use? If I use so many tags on my video, but all these tags are focusing on one topic, can that help me get more views? Okay, so here's the thing with tags, and Nick, you feel free to chime in on this one when I'm finished. Tags are not going to move the needle. It's not going to be like, okay, I put these tags in here and I'm off and running. It doesn't work that way. Tags are probably the least important of all the things that you can add. Now, of course, you want to put tags in, but use them for things like clarity. If there's a misspelling, put your name in there, put your channel name in there, put variations of your title, put your title in there, put search phrases that are relevant to your title in there. But you want to do these things to add clarity to your video to help tell YouTube what your video is about. But you're not going to put magic tags in there. There's not a certain number of tags where it's going to change the velocity of your video. I know you've all seen videos with millions of views, and if you have TubeBuddy, which you should, you can look to see some of them don't have tags at all. There's no tags, millions of views. Nick, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, same exact thing. Like use them just like Dee said, in terms of clarity and just adding any additional context that you think is important. And while you are doing that, like if you have TubeBuddy installed as an example, all you have to do is they're going to give you some suggestions. Just think, is this suggestion relevant to my video? If it's yes, then go ahead and just hit the plus button, add it in there. If the answer is no, then in that case, don't add it. And focus all of your efforts. The things that really matter are your topic, your title, your thumbnail, and the actual content itself. So focus on those things more than everything else, but spend all of your time there, or most of your time, spend a little bit on the other stuff. But like most of your time needs to be spent there, and in your analytics, figuring out what your folks respond to.
There's a very large misconception. And a while ago, tags were very important, but now so many people now think everything it's I'm not growing, I'm not using the right tags, or which tags do I use to grow? YouTube has reorganized their structure of importance, and tags are at the very, very bottom. So
you see that a lot on Reddit too, to where somebody will go in there and they'll say, hey, my channel's not growing. And then there'll be somebody else in there that doesn't know what they're talking about. That'll say like, oh, well, you're probably just not using the right tags and things like that. And that starts this whole loop of people thinking that tags are like the most important thing in order to get your videos seen. But at the end of the day, if people are not like, okay, first off, something to think about is that nobody can see your tags before they even click on a video in the first place. A civilian, in terms of a regular viewer, they're not ever going to be able to see your tags because they're not going to have something like TubeBuddy installed. The only thing that is for is just for context for their system. And the thing that really matters is how the viewer is experiencing content on YouTube. That's ultimately what YouTube cares about, is this viewer having a good experience when they're on the platform. And the way that you win on YouTube is by facilitating a viewer having an awesome experience. And you do that by making it crystal clear what your content is about, in terms of your title and your thumbnail and your topic. So basically your topic is A, and then you have your title and your thumbnail that are going to work together to help explain to that viewer that has not seen the content yet that this is what the video is about. This is the topic of this video. This is why you should be interested in it. And then from there, getting them to go from there into the actual video, and then making sure that they enjoy the content. And what I mean by enjoy the content is that you're not starting your video with just an intro logo thing, as an example, like a 5 or 10 second intro logo with all this like cool music and things like that. Give them at least a taste of the content first. Like if you're doing any type of videos where you are on camera and you're talking, even if it's gaming content, tell people when your video first opens up, tell them this is what it is that we're going to do. And then if you have a logo and you are like, if you're just like, I have to use this, then in that case, make it 3 seconds, 3 to 5, but 3 is better. Shorter is even better. But when you do use it, just go into your audience retention reports and you're going to see, hey, is anybody leaving during this intro, or a lot of people leaving? Is it just a few people? But the thing is that you have to consider is people will look at that from a one video perspective, and they'll think to themselves, well, I'm only losing like, 3% or 5% of my viewership during this, 5-second intro or during this 8-second intro. But what they're not thinking about is over the span of 50 videos that you do that to, once those videos start getting traffic, you're losing a ton of people during that period of time. So because of that, whatever you decide to do, you need to make sure that you're looking in your audience retention reports to see how people are responding to it, so you can decide if you should continue using it or not. Sometimes if they're cool, the people will still stick around. I've been taking mine out recently, just because for a long period of time, it was fine. Nobody, there's like no problems, no issues, but, my content's getting put in front of a lot more people now. And because of that, I am losing a small percentage of people when that intro plays. So I've been trying to, work it out of videos over time, and it's slowly fading away.
I've never used one.
Yeah.
I've never used one on my channel.
Yeah.
Rakesh asks, is there a free version for Placeit? Okay, so here's the thing with Placeit. It is a template-based system. 98% of the templates on there are paid. However, 2% of them are free. So you can go through there and you can look for the free ones. Link down below to them. And if you do want to go with the paid service, my link gets you 15% off. Now, there's another service called Canva. I think Canva is not as good as Placeit. I think their designs are nowhere near as good as Placeit, but they do have more free options. but I don't think their stuff looks as good. So you can check both of those out and decide which one's going to work best for you. Next question comes from Vlogger Tom.
So real quick on that one, Dee, if you don't mind, really quick for Rakesh here. If you go to place it and in their search bar, if you just type free, then a bunch of free stuff's going to come up, and you're going to notice what's free by the little free tag up in the top left-hand corner of the graphic. And one of those things, for example, is like a Twitch banner video that you could use as like an intro or an outro here on YouTube. It's just a little bit of modification, but they have a bunch of free stuff there that you can use as well, like Dee was saying.
And Raid says, "Are you from India?" Yes, sir. I am from India. I'm from Jaipur, India, in case you didn't know. All right, next question. Nick, where are you from? What part of India?
I'm not from India. Yeah, I'm not from India. Dee's from India. My brother Dee is from India, but I'm not from India.
Next question. This one comes from Vlogger Tom, who says, "Is there any rule of thumb for using a thumbnail with text versus a thumbnail without text?" Okay, this is a great question. I know both of us are going to have responses here. So there have been studies on thumbnails looking at best practices. They've found things like more like 2 faces will do better generally than 1 face, right? There's lots of things that can cause people to click more. However, it depends on your audience. So this is going to be something that you're going to have to test out to see what works for the people who are looking at your content, right? Make some thumbnails with text, but if you are going to use text, make it bold, make it simple to read, and don't put too many words in there. Put some keywords, some trigger words. Don't make it too wordy because you have seconds to get their attention and for people to understand what's going on. And then test it against thumbnails with no text to see which one performs better. And you can do that with TubeBuddy. If you have access to a computer, you can get the TubeBuddy Legend package. Even if you only get it for a month, you can A/B test as many thumbnails as you want, and it can tell you which thumbnail performs better, which one gets the most clicks, which one brought you the most watch time, and so on and so forth. Which one has a better average view duration. So you can do that with the Legend package and TubeBuddy. Link down below for that as well. Nick?
Yeah, so when it comes to that, you just got to test, right? Like, right? Yeah, because basically, like the thing that a lot of people will think is that, you know, hey, this particular channel uses text on their thumbnails, therefore I have to use text on mine. And that's not the case. Like, text is kind of like an easy default if you don't know how to work with imagery, or the type of content that you make isn't the type of content to where like an image would really demonstrate what you're talking about a lot. Right. But in a lot of cases, an image might just do the trick. In some cases, an image with a word or 2 or 3 words might do the trick. In some cases, like let's say, for example, if I was going to do a review of this light, in that particular case, I might just want to put the light there and not put any text at all. But the idea, like Dee was talking about before, is you actually want to test it against your audience and the people that YouTube is showing your content to see how they respond based on the type of content that you make. Because, for example, for MUK here, that's in the chat right now, like for them, if they put text in their thumbnails, then they might do it in a way that their audience responds to well. If Zach Talks Tech, who is also in the chat right now, if he were to not put text in his thumbnails, his audience might respond better to what it is that he's doing if he focused on the actual product that he was reviewing or something like that. So, it really comes down to just making sure that you're testing and test everything. YouTube has a grouping feature in the analytics that everybody here should be using. And basically that grouping feature is going to help you identify like what works best across the board. Now, of course, there's always going to be outliers, with everything to where, you might notice, hey, my videos typically, they do better without text on them, but then you'll have one where you'll put text on it and then it'll do great. And then when you look at that, you have to think, okay, is this because there's text on the thumbnail? Because it could be that topic, there was just a lot of interest around that topic, or it could be that the actual video content performed great, which then, because people enjoyed the video content, YouTube gave it more impressions, which then made it seem like that video did better because the text was on it, when in reality, it wasn't because of the text at all. So the grouping feature kind of helps you break those things down by hey, here's 10, 15, 20 videos with text on the thumbnail. Here's 10, 15, 20 videos of similar view counts in total with without the text on the thumbnails. Let me look at the click-through rate on these based on the impressions that I'm getting, so that I can see how people are responding to each one on my channel.
And here's another shameless plug, since he went ahead and said it. Alight Motion says, I wonder what app you could use to make great thumbnails, cough, cough. A lot of people don't know this. They think of Alight Motion as a video app, and that's obviously primarily what it was built for, but it can make really good thumbnails too. It works with transparent images, and a lot of people ask me how they can get the double stroke on the text like I have in my thumbnails. Because I use Photoshop for that. You can mimic that inside of Alight Motion. So you can make some mean thumbnails in Alight Motion. Cough, cough.
Off.
Cough, cough. The man with the hat, how you doing, man? Nice to see you in here. So Zach Talks Tech says, I make 2 to 3 thumbnails per video, then I test them through a 24-hour period and see which one gets more clicks. Testing, testing, testing. All right, next question is from Lunati Lord, who says, I need help getting internal audio. Can you please help with that? I think you asked this question before. Here's what you need to do. Search for a channel on YouTube called Grabster with a G, Grabster. He made a video, shows you 5 different ways to get internal recording. If you can't do it with one of those 5, then you don't need to be doing internal recording. Next question from AlphaZ, who says, a video that I felt was not my best has come to be the most viewed video on my channel. That's how it works.
Welcome to the club.
Welcome to the club. Yeah. My question is, how can I best capitalize on these are the questions right here. My question is, how can I best capitalize on the attention that video has garnered? I've tried making longer videos, added more edits, and improving the thumbnails, but none of my other videos come close to the videos and the attention that video, has garnered. Thank you. So I'm going to look at his channel, and while I look at his channel, do you want to give your take on that? He's asking.
Absolutely.
He's got one successful video. How can he capitalize on that?
So basically, if that one successful video is the primary driver of traffic to your channel, then those people that are coming in that video are coming into that video. They are coming in there and they're interested in that topic from you. So what I would recommend, as long as people are subscribing because of that video, but even if they're not, those people are recently active on your YouTube channel. And since they're recently active on your YouTube channel, there's a really good chance that the next video that you publish, that those people that have came in, they've clicked on your thumbnail, they've watched the video for, a fair amount of time for YouTube to deem their experience as a quality experience on YouTube. And maybe they've even interacted with the video in some way in terms of a like or a comment or a share or adding it to a playlist or something. If some of those things happen, then that next video you publish, YouTube is going to be extremely likely to put it in front of some of those people. So because of that, you have to think, one, if somebody watches this video that's driving all this traffic, what's the next logical thing that they would watch?
So
like what topically?
Let me pause you. Let me pause you for a second. He's
Okay.
a gaming channel.
Okay.
And I don't see any difference between this video and the other videos. It's all gaming stuff.
Okay. What's the channel?
I can send it to you here, and I'm going to send it to you in the
Private chat.
private chat here. Yeah,
Okay.
it's gaming. There, I just sent it to you.
Okay,
All right,
got it.
you have a look at that. I'm going to answer the next question, then we'll come back to this one. Maybe you want to look at that one a little bit deeper. Next question is business studies with Simitel, who says, what happens if I don't select any audience for my channel when uploading videos? For children or not for children? Okay, this is copper related. Can my channel be monetized if I select an audience when uploading? Okay, here's the thing about COPPA. You have to select either it's for children or not for children. You have to do that on a video level, or you have to do that on a channel level. You have to do it. You have to do it. If you don't do it, YouTube's going to do it for you, and they might be incorrect in doing it. So you have to choose one of them. And the way this works is, if your target audience is for children under the age of 13, then you need to mark your videos for children. However, if you have a general audience, it means you've got mostly adults, but there are some kids in there too. That's a general audience. In that case, then that's not for kids. But only you know who your target audience is. And if your target audience, it means the people you are making the videos for are 13 and under, you need to market for kids. But you have to choose. You have to choose. There's no getting around that. You have to choose, or they're going to do it for you.
So Alfzy, you have one video here with 1.7 thousand views on it, and then everything else, like your next popular video is 95 views. So, and then they kind of go down from there. So that video with the 1,700 views on it, a few things just looking at it from the outside, it's a 7-minute video. You have a thumbnail where you have arrows on it, pointing to things that would be of interest to those people. You mentioned DBD Mobile in here, which I'm not sure what DBD Mobile is, but I'm thinking that's the name of the game because your title is I window tech twice in DBD Mobile. So
he's got the same arrows and stuff. The thumbnails look the same.
Well, what I'm getting ready to say is that that second video also has like DBD Mobile in it, but then like a lot of these other videos, you have that in some of them, but you have something like, Hook Bandit, Adept Adam, Francis, things to where it's not necessarily easy to identify that it's also DVD Mobile, if it even is. But if DVD Mobile is what is bringing attention to your channel right now, you didn't get a lot of people subscribing from that video. So being able to fully tap into it isn't going to be like an easy thing, so to speak. But you did have people watch it. So as long as they enjoyed the video by YouTube standards, then in that situation, additional videos could be presented to them. But here's the thing. If that spike happened back 3 months ago when you published this, then being able to tap into it now isn't going to be as easy than if you would have followed up immediately. So if you have videos that do well and then you follow up immediately with similar content on topic to that video,
right,
then you're massively increasing the likelihood of YouTube showing that content to those people that enjoyed this video. But if you have
it's old now.
Bringing in views, what were you saying?
I said it's old now. That's over 90 days.
I'm not sure if it's still driving or if it just spiked recently. I'm not sure. But if if this is continuing to, bring new people in and all of that, then in that situation, I would just go hard on the DBD Mobile content. And I would make sure that DBD Mobile is in every single title that you make if you're trying to tap into what's going on here. But I'm not sure with the games that you're playing here. I don't even know what DBD Mobile is. So because of that, I can't say, hey, you're mixing these games and they may or may not be a good fit. I can't say that because I don't understand what's happening on your channel. But just another thing that I just want to bring to your attention also, just because it's here and I just want to let everybody know this that's watching this right now, is you also have a video on here that's titled Quick Update. And with that quick update, don't make videos that are just like update videos. This one's like 31 seconds and you have like some text on the screen. I personally would even delete that off the channel because you don't want that being recommended to somebody that has recently interacted with your content and enjoyed it. So I would completely take that quick update video. And when you put up videos on your YouTube channel, it's really important to make sure that you're thinking of your YouTube channel as a resource of a certain type of content for people. And when you put up a video, a 30-second or a 1-minute video that is a channel update, like, oh, hey guys, this is why I haven't uploaded in a month or whatever it happens to be, then what you're doing in that situation is you're wasting your opportunity to have YouTube recommend your content to people that would come in and actually be a part of your channel, because you are wasting that person's time with an update and they don't care if they haven't interacted with your channel in any way, shape, or form anyway. So because of that, please don't waste your viewers or potential viewers' time with update videos, because it doesn't add to your channel in terms of your channel being a resource. Now, if you had, tons of subscribers and tons of people that were, just like avid viewers of your content, then in that situation, those people, it might be a little bit more appropriate in that situation, but I'm still, I would still recommend against it. But, in those cases, you do have an audience and there are people that, legitimately do care about what it is that you're doing. So in that case, it's just a little bit more tolerable. But, when you're getting the ball rolling with this stuff, I would completely avoid that sort of thing and just think, this video that I'm getting ready to publish, will it add value to the people that YouTube is going to show this to? If the answer is yes, publish. If the answer is no, or you can't identify if it is or not, then make another video that you can clearly identify the value that the viewer is going to get out of it.
Yeah, and if that video is still driving a lot of views, I just quickly looked, you don't have a pinned comment. So your pinned comment is prime real estate. Make sure that you're linking out in that pinned comment before the fold. I don't want to have to click on it and expand it, right? The first sentence or two link out to a relevant video or a relevant playlist. It's prime real estate, and if that video is still bringing views in, you can send those viewers off to watch another relevant video. The fat guy says, any hints for getting stories on my channel? When you hit their, what is stories now? Is it 10,000, or are they rolling that out to lower numbers? Do you know?
I think it's still 10 to my understanding, but I could be wrong.
He
But
just
yeah,
got memberships.
still 10,000. Give me 1 second.
He has under 2,000 subscribers, and he just got memberships. So they're YouTube's rolling different things
They're
out.
randomizing the memberships, and for gaming
Right.
channels, you can get it. He doesn't have a gaming channel, I don't think.
No, it's
but
not a gaming channel. No.
yeah, but you can. They're giving it to gaming channels at 1,000.
Yeah. So whenever they think you should have it, you're going to get it that way. There's no tips that I'm aware of to actually rush it. But I will say this, because they are giving you features early, use those features. Because if they can see that, hey, we're giving him features, but he's not using them, they might not give you other stuff early. So you might be one of those test channels where like, hey, let's just give him all the stuff. So make sure you're using everything that they're giving you early. Get on that. Next question is from Zcraft and Origami, who says, do I hide my subscriber count? No, put it out there for the world. It's nothing to be embarrassed of. It's nothing to be ashamed about. If you have 0, if you have 1, if you have 1,000, show your subscribers. Just don't. Just show them. Nick, do you know any reason why someone might want to hide their subscribers? I can't stand when people do that.
I know some like larger channels will do that just so that people aren't caught up on the subscriber count. To where it's kind of like a way that they kind of anonymize themselves, but you can still see, like if you look at like the view counts, for example, you can still see if somebody's crushing it or not. Even if you hide your subscriber count, if you're getting, if somebody sees that you are getting, 8 views on a video, then that same exact thing is going to happen. But here's the thing. As YouTubers, we think about that stuff, but as a viewer, viewers don't care. Viewers only care about the experience that they're getting from your video, about if that video is something that they're interested in, and what it is that you're doing in that video that they're going to enjoy or get some type of value out of. That's what matters, right? So like I understand like within the YouTube community thing, I only have 50 subscribers, and there's all these other channels with all these different subscriber counts, and I don't want people to think less of me or my channel because I don't have a lot of subscribers. But people don't even see that until they click on your video in the first place. So they're already interested, right? You've already got people clicking on the video and coming to your channel in the first place, and they're already there watching the content. So instead of thinking, do I need to worry about, what people see with my subscriber count? Think, okay, how can I grab their attention and keep them watching my videos so they can see the value in what it is that I'm doing, or get value from what it is that I'm doing, so that I can actually convert that person into a subscriber.
Solid. Love it.
But you won half the battle, 3/4 of the battle, almost the whole thing, just by getting them to click in the first place. Half the battle.
I can't stand it when I come across a channel and they've hidden the subscribers, and just put them out there. Like I can see your view count. Just put them out there.
Right.
Okay. Next question.
Poppy is one of the ones. I don't know if she's still doing it or not, but Poppy, for a long period of time, she had hers. I'm going to see if she still has her subscriber count hidden. But yeah, she had hers hidden for like a really long time.
Hey, Yarab, how you doing, man? I'm not in La Paz anymore. I've went up north to Ensenada. So so this is a funny story. El Yarab here, they're in La Paz, and they saw me at the grocery store, and they didn't tell me till afterwards. Like, yeah, I saw you at the grocery store. I was like, man, you should have come up and said, hey, you should have said something. That was so funny. All right, next question is from Fully Involved Media Group, who says, how common is it for a recent upload video to fluctuate from YouTube search to browse features? In our newest upload 2 hours ago, we had between 55 and 65% in YouTube search. Then it flipped to a higher percentage for browse. Now about 3.5 hours in, the YouTube search percentage is back to 55%.
What's happening right there? YouTube is basically testing your content. So
trying
YouTube
to find an audience. Yeah.
YouTube's testing your content in these different places to see where it performs. So when you publish your video, actually, depending, like in a lot of cases, like if you're getting lots of views, then you're pulling traffic from everywhere. But if you are just getting the ball rolling, so to speak, if you have a newer channel, which in your case, I believe that you do, if you have a newer channel, then in that situation, like you can see a lot of fluctuations, just as, for every, like 30 views that you get or 100 views that you get, YouTube is just testing it in these different places to see how people respond to it. I know Zach Talks Tech was in here earlier saying that he changes his thumbnails up over the course of a 28-hour or 24-hour period. Like in that situation, that's where that can actually work against you. is because while YouTube is testing you like immediately after you publish, then you could actually like they could find like the right place for your video, and then you update your thumb like right after you publish the video, and then people stop responding to it in that place, and then that could cause the video to actually, you know, lose that position, so to speak. So I would actually commit to a thumbnail when you first publish, and then test the thumbnail later after the video has kind of stabilized a little bit, instead of doing it right after you publish the video.
Yeah, because that's what happens. Anytime we upload a video, YouTube immediately, first of all, they start taking in all the data. Are people clicking? Are people watching? How long are they watching? But they're also trying to find the right audience to put that video in front of. Like immediately, that stuff is happening like, you know, in real time, really fast.
Simply Best says, I feel like you could mine this chat for some great video ideas. Tell you what, there's so many ideas, like basically through the comment sections of the videos, plus these forums that that, you know, where during the live stream everybody asks questions. We have that information for years, right? From ever since we started using the forum. So every single live stream, the forum has been saved. In addition to that, like for comments over coffee, for example, like people submit questions to that. There's a backlog on those questions. Like the amount of video ideas are massive. But one of the things that the live stream ones do is they help. Same with the comments, is they help you understand like what the community cares about right now. So like you'll have some live streams to where the only thing people are talking, not the only thing, but the primary conversation is about money. And then you'll have another one to where the primary conversation is about mindset, to where a lot of the questions that are coming in are about like mindset and burnout and just how do I keep going if, you know, if things are growing slow, things like that. So in terms of the information that's being collected, that's also helping, you know, drive video ideas that you know, to make sure that you're getting the value that you actually want, instead of just, you know, taking guesses on what you might care about.
Okay, so the first question here is from Troy Perry out of the chat. It says, D, what apps do you have on your phone currently for creating content? Okay, just so you know, my phone is loaded, just packed with apps, because I'm constantly testing apps. People are like, hey, check this app out, and I'm downloading app. I'm always testing stuff out, right? In terms of what I've been using recently, my go-to apps, I've kind of, the past couple of months, I've been using Adobe Lightroom for all of my photo editing, even stuff for, because I've got a computer here, and I'm getting so comfortable and so efficient with Lightroom Mobile that I'm actually sending images over to my phone or my iPad to work with them in Lightroom Mobile, and then sending them back to my computer. Even with Lightroom on the computer, I like it better on my phone. I don't know. So Lightroom Mobile, that's my hero right now. I've made all of my TikTok videos with Video Leap. So Video Leap and Adobe Lightroom are probably the two top apps that I've used the most over the past 3 months, I guess. I'm just going to narrow it down to those two. I've got a bunch of other great apps, but in terms of the ones I've been using the most, those two for creation. Nick, what about you?
So I'm also a very avid Lightroom user as well. Like I really enjoy that. When we were in the mountains yesterday, I was using that, you know, quite a bit with the pictures that I was taking there. In addition to that, Video Leap, of course, is on my list for my editing app for when I'm doing like stories, that kind of stuff, Instagram stories, and just random stuff. If I send stuff to like, you know, friends or whatever, I'll use that one too. Let's see, what else do I have here?
Well, I don't want to know all the apps. We're talking about
the same boat with a bunch of them. I'm just seeing like the primary ones. If I'm shooting,
actually using,
I use Filmic Pro. If I'm shooting videos, I'll use that just so I can make sure that everything is fine tuned. A lot of times I don't, but if it's something important, I do. And then of course, this one's going to sound a little bit silly, but my content schedule, I also have that on my phone for the sake of Monday.com, for the sake of being able to access that quickly. And yeah, that for content, and of course the notepad as well, just so that I can, you know, drop ideas in there as they come up. Or
here we go.
Google Docs.
Here we go. So I was just, okay. So another app that I'm using religiously is Google Keep. So all of my ideas, all of how I structure things,
here we go.
Here we go. My notes, everything, you know, if I'm going to record a video, if I have an idea, everything is categorized inside Google Keep. Of course, I've got Filmic Pro as well. I don't always use that either. If I'm just going to run and gun, I just use the default camera because I know I'm going to shoot with light. Here's the thing, and I talked about this earlier because hashtag teeny weeny sensors. You know what? That needs to be a shirt. And like a circle.
Hashtag teeny weeny.
Yeah, like a circle, and then the text goes around it. It says teeny weeny sensor. Right? So, but if I'm shooting outside and I know I've got a lot of light, I know it's going to look good. I got an iPhone 11 Pro. It's going to look great no matter what. But if I want to really dial something in, yeah, Filmic Pro for that. And I'll use Filmic Remote as well so I can monitor it on another device. As far as creative apps, yeah, those are probably the top ones. Now, moving on to the next question in the form is from Sarah. I apologize. I'm not going to get your last name correct. Sarah Nguyen. Those Vietnamese names are always difficult. Sarah, is it Nguyen? Nguyen. Sarah. Question is, and this is a great question. This year, I've started getting brands reach out to me for the first time for sponsored videos on my channel. By the way, she's got a great channel. Where do I even start with working out how to price a sponsored video? I feel like between the brands and myself, we're picking random numbers and just throwing it out there. Okay, that's a great question. And I can tell you that I'll give you my input and Nick can give you his input as well. The first place to start is to go into socialbluebook.com. You can set up a free account there. They're going to give you a one-time channel assessment. You connect your channel. They're totally safe. I've connected mine. Everybody is connected to them. And they will run the numbers on your channel, and they will give you what they believe is a starting point for what you should ask for a video. You can
Starting
break
point,
it down.
and high point. Yeah.
Right. They can say here's a low amount, here's a mid amount, here's a high amount on what they think you should ask for based on a formula that they've come up with. And this is for a sponsored video. This is for a shout out, right? So they've broken it down for different types of videos. Now, keep in mind, this number is only based on the data, only on your numbers. This is not taking in consideration the time that it's going to take to make the video. It's not going to take in consideration the time it's going to take to edit the video. It's not taking into consideration because you do a lot of how-to content. So a lot of your content is evergreen. That video is going to keep giving to that sponsor until the end of YouTube or until your channel shuts down. So it doesn't take in consideration evergreen content. So you're gonna be able to continually deliver new possible clients to your sponsor. So it's just looking at the numbers. So I would look at that number, right? Look at that middle number and then say, okay, what's my time worth? How much time is going to go into this? Then I want to add a little bit more based on how you know your video is going to deliver. For example, if I'm going to work with somebody and I know that video is going to do very well, like this video is going to go gangbusters, and I know for a year down the road, for 2 years down the road, I'm going to give them thousands of installs. I'm going to ask for a lot of money. But if it's something where I know I'm not going to be able to give them a ton of return, I can give you a return, but it's not going to be one of my better videos just based on how I know my audience. I'm going to ask for less money. So you know your audience, you know what does well on your channel. So you have to keep that in mind too. Like if you're like, hey, every time I do this type of video, it does really well and it continues to do well, definitely ask for more money. So that's my take on it. Nick?
With that also, another thing just to consider, and I'm not sure if this is appropriate for your channel or not, because I'm not sure what it is that you're currently doing. But another thing to consider also is the loss that you might take from doing that agreement. So what I mean by that is there's like, if you do anything in the affiliate space, then everything that you promote as a sponsor is something that you can't promote as an affiliate. So
yes.
If you happen to do something in the space where you are promoting things as an affiliate or you're bringing attention to your own products, for every sponsorship that you do, you're taking away from growing your stuff and you're moving towards growing someone else's stuff. And that's fine because you get that money up front, but you just have to balance out, okay, if I'm getting ready to do this deal or a long-term agreement with somebody where I'm going to make a bunch of videos where I'm mentioning them and things like that, then you have to take that into account. So like I have videos on my channel that have driven, $50,000. I've had videos on my channel that have driven, $20,000, for different things that I've, brought attention to, and a bunch of different things in between. And because of that, it's something that I have to consider when I do a video. Now, With that said, if there's somebody that were to reach out and they're just a good fit for the audience, and I would be promoting them anyway, then in that situation, it's just kind of like, okay, yeah, I'll work out whatever it is just for the sake of, like, I'm bringing attention to you already, or I would be bringing attention to you already. In that situation, then I would just, I would try to work out. Of course, I would try to work out something where it's still worth it, because you have the obligation once you sign on that line. But I would, in that situation, I would just make sure that I am, just making it fair for myself, just for having that obligation. So in addition to that, another thing is when you are working with people and people are reaching out to you for sponsored videos, if you are making that part of your monetization strategy in terms of, I'm going to be doing X amount of sponsored videos per month, then in that situation, make sure that you also put together a menu of sorts when you are having these interactions with these companies, and you put together a menu and let people know that it adds more value to them. Basically, here's what's going to happen. It's going to add more value to them and help you stay out of the rat race, so to speak, of constantly having to chase down deals if you work out a long-term agreement with them to where you're doing, X amount of videos per month, or at least a video per month. And the way that it works out for them is because you get that continued exposure with your audience. And the more that you have that continued exposure with your audience, the more and more trust is built up for their brand in relation to you. And because of that, that brings better long-term value to them. And people that might not have went over and installed that product or downloaded it or went to the store and bought it when you first started bringing attention to it, 10 videos down the road, 3 videos down the road, in that situation, might be like, you know what, maybe I should give this a shot. I keep hearing about it, but I haven't actually tried it yet. Maybe I should give it a shot. So what you're doing in that situation is you're doing more of a deeper integration to where their product becomes a little bit more associated with what you're doing as well, or, just like a part of your channel or your content, which then, can help build, more trust from your audience for them as well. So trying to work out a longer term deal can also be advantageous. So
it's pronounced new one, Sarah, new one. I thought there was like that G kind of had a ng sound to it, but it's new one.
New one as opposed to the old one.
Yeah, new one. Sarah, new one. I'll never forget that. New one as opposed to the old one. Yeah. The new Sarah. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce to you the new Sarah. Sarah, new one. Yeah, so you just talked about trying to get a larger deal with them, right? About the multi-videos. Is that what you were talking about?
And also other things too, like, are they selling something expensive, or are they selling something low cost? You have to take all these things into factor, because, if you're working with somebody, you want to make sure that they're getting, the value that they're paying for. You want to make sure they're getting a return on their investment, and that you are delivering for them. So you also want to consider things like, their price points. If you're doing something where, you have a travel channel and you're targeting luxury, like luxury travel enthusiasts, probably not right now, but, under normal circumstances, then in that case, if somebody reaches out to you that sells or rents private jets, then in that situation, the amount of money that's being made per every transaction that happens because of you is a lot more substantial than if somebody's just installing an app for $2, as an example. So because of that, you say, okay, well, they're going to bank off of this if I can send them, some good leads. So because of that, I also want to make sure that I'm getting compensated fairly in terms of a, way more than I would, just working, with an app, for example. Did we freeze D? Or did D freeze? I think D froze. I think D has frozen. Oh, there he is. He's back. All right.
We're back. So Sarah, another thing that you want to do if you don't have it already is have a media kit. Get a media kit put together. If you don't have one, reach out to me. Send me an email. I'm happy to send you mine. You can see kind of how I do things. Another thing to take in consideration too is it a brand that you can see yourself having a long-term relationship with? And is it a brand that you would have done the video for free anyway, and they just happen to contact you? So there's other things to take in consideration. Like, I've taken less because I've wanted to get my foot in the door somewhere, or I've taken less because, or sometimes sometimes I've done it for a product simply because I was going to buy the product anyway. So I'm like, yeah, you know what? They gave it to me and it turned out. And did I freeze?
Yeah, you're back now. Yeah, you were completely
I'm
frozen,
back.
but now you're defrosted. Yeah.
Where did I defrost it? Where did you lose me?
It was while I was running my mouth. You froze, so I don't think any info was lost.
Okay, did you hear about
You said I'm back. Like you said I'm back right after you came back in.
Did you hear anything about the media kit?
Yes. Yeah, so after you said I'm back, then you've been fine that whole time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you got to think about the kind of relationship that you want to build. It's going to be, naturally
freeze.
A deep freeze. I like it. It never ends. The puns with the name never ends. It naturally, a lot of companies are going to try to lowball you, but hold your ground because because your channel is growing, you've got great content. You will
factor that in.
Factor that stuff in.
Yeah, if you do a long-term deal, definitely factor that in. If you have an upward trajectory on your channel, definitely factor that in because when you publish that video today, they're going to continue to reap the value from that, and they know that they're going to continue to reap the value for that for a long time to come. So when I have companies ask me or people that are small businesses or whatever, and they're wanting to sponsor YouTubers, and they ask me like, hey, I'm thinking of doing the whole influencer marketing thing. Any tips that you have? One of the things I'll tell them is to go, and this is for a creator, and it's also like against you if you don't know this information. But basically what I'll tell them is I'll say, go to a website like Social Blade and look at the trajectory of the channel. Because if you can get somebody that's a smaller channel and their trajectory is high to where they're, heading places and they're doing well, the growth potential is there, then you can actually catch them at a really fair price, lock in a long-term deal, and you're going to be able to ride that trajectory from that content creator. So as a content creator, it's important that you also know that side of things, because that's a way that brands can make sure that they're getting the most value of what it is that they're investing in as well.
So another thing, if the brand that wants to work with you has an affiliate program, make that part of your deal that they're going to pay you and you're going to get affiliate sales. Like don't be afraid to ask for something. Don't be afraid to ask more. Ask for more. I've actually
be confident to walk away, because more deals will come. Yeah, don't be needy.
More deals will come in. And Sarah, I'll just be, Sarah makes great it's quality content. It's quality content. So don't be afraid to ask for what, even if you think, oh, they're never going to go for this, ask for it. Ask for it because, you deserve it. You deserve it. And your channel is going to keep growing. So ask for it. Ask for the money and ask for an affiliate program, and ask for special terms for the affiliate program on top of it, because that really doesn't cost them that much money if you're actually sending them sales to begin with. So you can try to work out special deals affiliate wise on top of the amount that they're going to pay you for the video as well. Yeah, it's entirely up to you how you want to handle that. Feel free to send me an email. Happy to talk more about it. So I'm going to jump into the forum and nail a couple more questions here. Have a good one, Charlie.
Sarah, because I see one channel here. I see like a handful of these. I see one here. Oops, sorry, not you, Siri. Hold on.
Siri, turn off all of Nick's lights.
Oh, that's good.
Hey, nice purple light change.
Avatar. Yeah, I got it.
Nice purple light change. I dig that.
Yeah, trying to match up to you there.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's a tad off, but it's good enough.
It's close, man. It's close. Yeah. Next question comes from Cubing Jin, who says, my question is, can you give me a great YouTube video editor without a watermark for a tablet that does not crash? Okay, it crashes because you've probably got a lower end tablet, or your tablet is just completely full. And it lets me export at 720p or higher resolution. You have I don't know what kind of tablet you have. I would look at, get them all, download them all. Here's what you're gonna have to do. Because I don't know what type of tablet you have, I don't know what's actually causing it to crash. Here's the ones you download. Download, if you're on an Android device, or if you've got an iPad specifically, check out Video Leap. Of course, you've got iMovie, you've got LumaFusion, you've got Adobe Rush, KineMaster Power Director. If you're on an Android, same thing, LumaFusion. Of course, Alight Motion, who's in here. They've also got an iOS version and an Android version. You've got VN, you've got VLLO, KineMaster Power Director, Vlogger, InShot.
Come on, where is it? Where is it? Like as you're naming the other ones, come on, where is it?
Yeah. And and a light motion, of course. But yeah, here's the thing. You've got to download all of these things and see which one works well with your device. This is very important. People say, hey, what's the best video editing app? I can tell you what I think is the best for features. I can tell you what I think is the best for a user interface and which one I like to use. That doesn't mean it's going to be compatible with your device. So download them all. They're all free to download. I think except for LumaFusion, I think you have to pay to download that. But all the rest are free. Download them, test them, see which one works, and whichever one works the best, that's the one you go with. You go all in on that one. And of course, where's he at? Hold on here. I saw Douglas come in here and smile. Yeah, and a light motion. There he is. And this guy right here, these people, both Android and iOS. Oh man, I love it. Next question comes from a panda who says, hey, D, I wanted to ask you if I need some big, bold text thumbnails as a pro player for a game, or can I make thumbnails that are more simple and clean? You need to test them and see what works for you. However, if you are putting text on your thumbnails, make it bold. Make it easy to read. Make it so simple to read, and don't make it so wordy. Just choose a handful of keywords. Make it so easy to read that someone who doesn't speak English, as they're assuming you make your thumbnails in English, someone who doesn't speak English as their first language can easily figure out what's in your thumbnail. Someone who's been drinking and they're coming over to YouTube, maybe they've had a handful of drinks, things aren't so clear, they can look at your thumbnails and they can easily tell what your text says without things getting cross-eyed on them. So keep it simple. But of course, in terms of how much text or which font, that's stuff that you're going to have to test on your channel.
Yeah, and try to limit the amount of words that you're using too, because you're not trying to explain what your video is. You're trying to make it easy for them to instantly comprehend what your video is about with a few, correctly chosen words, so that they'll click on it and then head into your video. So you don't want to have a bunch of text in your thumbnails.
So Savvy Turtle says, Dee, do you need me to make some emojis for your channel? Just let us know, no charge. Hey, listen, if you're a designer, hit me up, send me a tweet, send me something. Yeah, let's talk about it.
Really cool t-shirts, Dee. Really cool t-shirt. They make some really cool t-shirts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really cool stuff.
Yeah, hit me up, man. Let's make it happen. Absolutely. I would love that. I would be honored. That's pretty cool. When I pulled this up, I saw your avatar, your little turtle. It's a really cool design. Hold on here. Douglas Light Motion says, this is why I come to the stream. There you go. Shameless plugs all night long. You heard it here first.
And you can get shameless plugs by making a thing about giving you shameless plugs. It's so epic. Yeah, it's so fun. Yeah.
All right, guys. That concludes our questions. On that note, that concludes the questions. It is almost 2 a.m. Nick, dude, it was awesome. We kind of did like a late night Sunday version of Nimin Live, mobile style. We actually got to get like half YouTube questions, which is cool.
Yeah, that was nice. Thanks for having me on, D. I appreciate it. I hope you are maintaining your safety there in Mexico.
Boy, it's wearing me down, man. It's wearing me down.
I bet.
It's wearing me down. A Light Motion says plugception. That's how we roll.
It just happened again. Yeah, it's great.
It just happened again. See, here's how, plugception. We kind of do like 3 plugs deep here.
Yeah. 3 plugs deep with a spotlight. Yeah.
3 plugs deep with a spotlight. And on that note, I would just like to say, if anybody would like to download A Light Motion, head over to the Google Play Store or the Apple Store, type in A Light Motion and download it. It's a fantastic app. I have a video on it, actually, that I did with this gentleman right here who said plugception. So there you go. Shameless plug. Four levels in right there. All right. So listen, everybody, thank you for the amazing questions. We had some great questions tonight. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the thumbs up. If you found value in this stream or you just want to be a cool person and give me a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. If you didn't enjoy it, give me a thumbs down. I'm a big boy. I can handle it. That just lets me know I need to level up next time. Nick, thank you so much for joining me. Dude, it was an awesome having you on here. I love streaming.
Thanks for having me on, man. Always awesome to chat. You know that.
Yep. Moderators, thank you so much for holding it down. What's that?
We're talking like we don't know each other. Hey, thanks. Hey, thanks for having me on, D.
Right. Yeah. So Nick, where can people find you?
Oh, love it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, guys, listen, mods, thanks for holding it down. Channel members, thank you for everything. We will have a member stream here within the next couple of days. Yeah, and that concludes our stream. So
Have an awesome week, everybody.
Yeah, one more time. Why don't let's do one more shameless plug here. One more
For who?
shameless plug.
Shameless plug for who?
For me, show everybody the shirt. Show everybody the shirt.
Oh, yeah.
This is one of the shirts that I have, Hustler, Maker, and Creator. Those of you who know, I start off my live streams talking about hustlers, makers, and content creators. If you want this shirt,
Comes
dark mode version, light mode version. I've also got some other shirts down there. Click on the link down there in the description. You can buy that stuff and send me a picture. If you buy this stuff, send me a picture, tweet it to me. I would love to see it. Maybe I'll put you in a video or something like that. So, Nick, thank you. And it's soft, isn't it? I don't have one yet. I don't have my own shirt.
Feels great. So you know the real thin TubeBuddy shirts?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's exactly like that. And I know that you like that because you wear that like constantly. So it's that, and it's the original ones, not the one that you have on is also comfortable, but it's the one previous to those.
Yep,
so it's like a super thin one. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Awesome. And good night, Sheila. All right. A Light Motion. I'd like to give one more shout out to A Light Motion. All right, guys. Everybody have a good one. I will see channel members this week, and I will see everybody else next Sunday. Catch you guys then. Thanks.
Muchos gracias.